Hello guys and welcome back to Chaos TV's live coverage. I am Metis, joined by Mr. Enzi and Bass on streaming duties, and we are right live into the first game here in the Corsair Vengeance Cup between CLG.eu, Counterlogic Gaming, and Teamless, which is basically a mix-up of the likes of Absolute Legends, Western Wolves, and the like. So really two epic teams on show today, Enzi, and really looking forward to this game. Doesn't look like we're going to have any early team fights kicking off though.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, just a jungle invade going to be going on to red. TL have to be quite careful, though, not to just dash across a bit, unheartedly. We did see that, I think, a couple nights ago, or Friday, I think it was, when someone just got caught out about 40 seconds. It was like, okay, awkward. And obviously, first blood was drawn, and then it kind of snowballed from then on, and they did win the game. So, in 18 minutes as well.
Yeah, very, very dominant performance indeed. Was kind of shell-shocked about that one, Enzi, actually. But into this game, you're basically just going to see CLG recalling and the like, pulling back towards their blue buff more than likely. Anivia and Renekton are just going to help that Alistar pick up the blue relatively comfortably. But they have to be careful now because Teamless is on the prowl. They are moving towards that blue area themselves now. Kennen and Ari taking point. Olaf and Tarek coming up from behind. But Urgot doesn't seem to be too bothered. Just going to go towards that bot lane. Going to try and pick up the XP and creep score while the rest of his team try and wreak havoc on this CLG jungle. I've just picked up the Wolves, and you can see all four players congregating around the blue. Now going to push in. Anivia could be going down here. The stun has been landed. She will manage to flash through that wall onto the blue buff, and that blue attempt has been completely denied now for CLG, as Alistar's going to have to pull back. He has no hope whatsoever of contending with these four players. Anivia's going to throw that Flash Frost just in case she was being followed, and Olaf will pick up the blue steal. So nice work there from Teamless, really applying the pressure early on and denying that blue for Alistar.
Alistar really needs that blue early on, otherwise he is going to be so inactive with jungler. I mean, Alistar's mana pool is so bad early game. I think you can land, when you get level 4, level 3, about one headbutt pulverize combination and maybe another one on top of that, so about 2 combinations. And then you're basically out of mana. So I'm not sure how this one's going to go now. That was a great job from TL, just shutting down that blue attempt from Alistar, and that is really going to hinder his jungle, more than most junglers.
Absolutely, and you are going to just have Olaf kind of pacing backwards and forwards, going to start to pick up these wolves. Alistar is playing a dangerous game here, but Janna's also came up. Do they start the blue now? If they do, Olaf is definitely going to walk on this one, and there's Janna putting down the ward. Olaf's going to chase after as well, and it looks like it's by and large just going to, everyone's just going to pull back relatively unscathed. But Alistar is really coming up against it pretty hard here, looking maybe to try the gank onto Ari. It's going to jump in with the pulverize and headbutt combination, but isn't actually able to get the pulverize off, just runs through with the headbutt. I believe he got charm there from Ari just as he did that one, which of course is going to completely halt him in his tracks. He's now going to pull back into his jungle. So early signs are pretty good from a ganking point of view, NZ. A lot of activity in the jungles. Olaf now going to be going into the opposition jungle, but he's not really going to see too much, as Alistar is going to be picking up the red buff.
That was a great charm from Alpha there and made it onto Snoopy. Snoopy, he's in a very difficult situation. You could tell from trying to go to that blue. He was very desperate in, trying to get that blue buff, because it's so important for him early game to get that blue buff. But Olaf is going for gank mid.
Yeah, and they've got the kill onto Anivia there. Went into the egg form, and Olaf and Ari just pummeling away on top of that Froggen. So Froggen is being relatively kind of focused down early on this game. Did get stunned before, remember, and burnt his flash getting through to that blue buff, which was absolutely critical for him, because had he not done so, we'd definitely have died in that position. So obviously they knew the flash was off cooldown, on cooldown I should say, sorry, and therefore Olaf just went in for the kill. Let's have a look at bot lane. Looks like Graves and Janna are really pushing back the Tarek Urgot combination fairly heavily back towards their tower. Let's have a look at the creep score early on here. You're going to have the Urgot on 11 and Graves on 25, so massive difference at 4 minutes 40 through the game. Absolutely ridiculous creep score differential there at bot lane. Let's have a look at top. Haven't really given them too much love so far. Renekton and Kennen identical scores, but how's the creep score looking? Renekton 18, Kennen 26. So trying to make up for that bot lane performance. Having said that, Kennen has just come under heavy attack from Renekton. He's going to have to pop the lightning charge just to escape, and should be just fine doing so. But early game's looking pretty good, NC. A lot of action should be ensuing here.
Yeah, I would kind of spoke about what happened, but I've just had to switch the stream quickly, so I'm a bit behind even more now, Vince. So excuse me for that. If you guys don't know, basically I'm watching the stream, Bass is streaming, and Metis is taking the main seat in the game. As we haven't got the tournament client, I'm going to provide you with the best quality as possible. So if sometimes Vince interrupts me on stuff, then it's not on purpose.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate we don't have the tournament client, so we are basically there's only 2 spectator slots, and obviously Bass wants to provide the best possible quality he can. He's streaming and I'm casting for this game. Either way, let's have another look towards that mid as Olaf and Ari are starting to push round together. And Ivia is going to try and just pick up as many last hits as she possibly can, and looks like Olaf is potentially going to be trying to pick up this blue buff for Ari, so this could be another blue steal here. And we were saying before just how important that blue is for Alistair. Never mind though, because basically Olaf left those small creeps earlier on in the game, and therefore it won't be respawning for the next minute or so, if Alistair actually takes it down, which may not be the case in the first place. But Froggen is going to go on towards Ari. Ari popping the ultimate's going to come straight back again. Could potentially be a kill on the cards here, but Alistair and Anivia do manage to pull back to that tower. Ari was also heavily tagged in the process, very nearly falling in fact, has to pop a couple health pots to keep herself up. And you also saw Kennen very quickly reacting there, pushing straight down towards that mid lane as soon as he sensed danger. Now going to go towards that top lane once again, and nothing really is going to come about of that attack, Enzi. But again, very much kind of tit for tat gaming right now. Apart from that first blood, it's been very even overall.
Yeah, I think what it's really going to come down to is going to be farm, then a flurry of action is going to go ahead. Tabs with great thinking there, you know, he was right on the ball mark with that, and the communication was there. He was down there, he was making his way down there anyway, just in case. Lord has just had to flash away, and he's got like no HP right there. Really nice buckshot from Yellow Pete coming out at bot lane with that Graves.
Absolutely, they have both gone back there, the bot lane duo. Urgot and Tarek going to buy up what has Urgot taken. He's took 2 Doran's Blades and 3 health pots. Tarek, in the meantime, has added to his Sight Ward collection, has the Boots of Speed and a few health pots as well. And of course, this is going to allow Graves and Janna to get a few more creep score, then recall as well. What are they going to build up? The answer is for Graves, a couple Doran's Blades and health pots are very similar to Urgot. And Janna has finished off the Philo Stone and added a couple wards as well. So by and large, very similar. Creep score is 36 for Urgot at bot lane, and Graves on 46. So Urgot has slightly pulled it back in his favour, but still obviously behind by around 10 or so. How's mid looking? Froggen, we were hyping him up before this game ends. He's saying how great he was in mid. Obviously he did get focused early on there, had to flash through the wall of his head onto blue, then got ganked from Olaf, but he's still relatively close. I mean, Ari's on 47 or so creep score, and obviously Anivia on 43, just having to play very passive, not daring to push past his tower there. Definitely worried about the threat from Olaf, but Olaf is actually at bot lane. There could be a gank coming on here as Tarek will stun down Janna. Janna also ate an ignite as well, but will manage to get away using that Howling Gale. Now the attention is turned on to Yellow Pete with Graves, but Graves should be just fine, pulling back towards his tower with the Eye of the Storm, of course, from Janna. Such an important support spell, just giving you a shield, allowing you to survive that little bit longer. But Olaf is being very aggressive in that jungle, and you love to see it.
Yeah, he's been able to, because, you know, he shot Alistair down early, and, you know, the amount of ganks Olaf has had compared to Alistair has really shown in this game. I mean, Olaf has just been so much more active within the ganking stages, so it's really good stuff. But, you know, bot lane right there, it was all down to Janet to get away right there. Beautiful play from Crepo right there at the bot lane, as it looks like top lane Wicked is going to be pushing tabs. But yeah, you know, just pivot to action still, and I'm just waiting for a flurry of action just to happen out of absolutely nowhere.
Can definitely see it coming about around Dragon, because Dragon, of course, is still there, living at large in the Dragon Pit, and yeah, I think it's definitely going to start to fluctuate around him between the two teams, as Alistair's actually picked up a relatively early Oracle. We've seen this time and time again from the top teams, that they just try and take that Oracle as soon as they possibly can, take down the opposition wards, especially around Dragon is so important. And right now, I mean, Alistair's basically playing catch up. He hasn't really ganked too much. He's 0-0-0. Olaf already has a kill. He has the Oracle as well, and he also has Heart of Gold, so Olaf is looking pretty damn good right now. Either way, Alistair is going to just kind of mill around here in the jungles, not really going to commit to anything other than wraiths, and not too much action is going off right now. So let's have another quick look at the creep score. The overall goal difference is 500, 600 now in favour to Teamless, but whereabouts is that being spread? Well, Urgot's on 64, Ari 71, Kennen 67, and Olaf 41. Tarek obviously has 0 years of support, doesn't need any. On the opposite team, we're going to have Janna on 6, and Nivea 68, so she is slightly behind Ari. Graves on 65, so he has actually started to go behind Urgot as well here. And you're going to have Alistair 39 with Renekton finally on 72, slightly ahead of Kennen. So very, very evenly spread across the map.
Yeah, I'm just quite surprised, you know. I mean, we've had a couple ganks from Olaf. Olaf is actually going to be at top lane now, Vince, if you want to maybe... No, he is just going to back away. But yeah, I mean, I'm quite surprised. I mean, you got a load of ganks coming in from Olaf, and still not many kills have been kind of, you know, dealt right now, which is kind of surprising to say the least. But, you know, there's only one kill in it right now. It's anyone's game, and I'm just looking at that dragon as a huge factor in this game. I think that's really going to be where the first team fight is, because really in laning stage there's just no separating these teams right now.
Yeah, and you can just see that Ari is lurking in the bush. And of course, when Urgot's ultimate is up, he can switch Graves or Janna back into the fray. Ari can charm, and there's going to be so much burst potential there. The question is, though, will Graves or Janna budge from that tower? And the answer is a no. So perhaps they're going to try and force the issue here. And as you saw, Ari popping up a couple of her abilities, but she has just decided to pull back and recall, obviously sensing there's no point continuing this, and it just gives Anivia basically free roam of that mid tower. Now you are seeing a couple marks being pinged down on dragons, so it would appear that maybe Teamless are going to try and push this dragon. Alistair is just lurking around the wrong place at the wrong time, and Teamless want to get rid of him as soon as possible. Olaf is now going to see that ward, going to take that down with complete ease, and there is absolutely no ward coverage now on that dragon for CLG, so they're going to be kind of cautious. They're going to be wondering what the hell's going on. Can now see Kennen pushing down towards that dragon, so they must know exactly what is happening, as all 5 players are going to be on dragon, but Renekton hasn't budged a muscle at that top lane, so it is going to be a very easy dragon in the end for Teamless.
Yeah, absolutely. Really nice stuff from Teamless right there. Just got to be getting that dragon, going to separate the gold by a little bit more. And, you know, from you know, the perspective right now, Teamless are just ahead, really, just really far ahead right now. Well, not really far ahead, but standardly ahead. I don't know why I'm dribbling on, but they're just doing a really good job. I mean, Olaf has been so much more active in that jungle, completely shut Alistair down. Hasn't really been able to gank too much as well. Olaf has got more CS as well, not too much though. But I think just the game changer right now has just been that early blue attempt right there from Olaf. Well, the invade coming in, and it's just kind of separated this game, because Alistair hasn't really been able to gank, help them lanes, and it's just kind of snowballing right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredibly close. You look at the creep score difference, and there's no massive differences leaping out at you. By and large, it's very, very even all over the map. There may be like 10 or so creep score max in the lane. So really great stuff from both teams. It's really going to depend now on how their kind of AD carries face off against each other bot lane with that tower down. How is Urgot going to reply to this? Because obviously, with that tower down, he no longer has that sanctuary to pull back to if he gets ganked. So he has to play a tiny bit more tentative, has to be a tiny bit more timid in that lane, because he's going to definitely be in the target range for some ganks if he continues to push forward. But either way, his support of Tarek is going to just chill out there in their jungle, pushing back Alistair. Still has the Oracle, of course. He hasn't gone down yet in this matchup, so he's just going to continue to plod along, puts down the ward, and unbeknownst to him, there is actually a ward in that bush, so if he walks in there, could easily get that one as well. Let's have a quick look at the top lane. It's going to be Wicked against Tabs. Haven't really given them too much love so far, but to be completely honest, not much has happened up there. Renekton 112, Kennen 108. Very, very close. Kennen has the Will of the Ancients. Of course, definitely a nice item to build, especially when you're running double AP. Of course, him and Ari will both benefit from that hugely. And what has Renekton got? Well, he's built up the Hex Drinker, Mercury Treads, and also the No Magic Mantle. So really, just going all-out magic resist here. Ari's going to try and pick up that blue. I thought for a second that she was going to donate that one, and she's just basically standing there. Have I bugged or lagged out here?
Maybe she's disconnected. Or are you bugged out?
I'm back now, I think, but I just got a massive lag. I apologise for that. Can you hear me alright, Enzi, yeah?
Yes, hello.
Weird. I completely froze, and I was like, what's going on? I froze when Ari picked up the blue, so it gives you an indication of how long ago that was, I guess. But either way, she has actually just ate a flash frost for her troubles. Now going to pull back. But yeah, Enzi, before I lagged out there, I was just basically saying how even overall the top lane actually is. I mean, there really is nothing to separate those two.
I kind of think, Wicked is obviously ahead in CS as well, has been pushing that lane back as well, the more the good, and Olaf, despite his gank, I don't actually think he's ganked all that much. What?
Say again, Enzi, sorry?
I don't actually think he's ganked top all that much, and I mean, Wicked has been pushed the whole time, could have maybe bought a pink ward or something to help him out, but Olaf is waiting in that Baron pit, Vince.
Yeah, it subsided. I thought for a second we were going to see a bit of action there, but not to be, as basically I think he forced the two players back and nothing really happened in the end. But in the meantime, we're going to see Alistair coming down towards that bot lane. As I said before, Urgot and Tarek have to be careful. They do have nice ward coverage in that bush, but it is going to be taken down from Alistair. Purely on the basis they don't have a tower to fall back on, Urgot and Tarek cannot afford to be too aggressive here, especially when you consider that, look at Olaf, he's on the opposite side of the map pretty much. Cannot help them whatsoever if they get into a sticky situation. So that is going to be reflected with them starting to pull back. Urgot is trying the last hit to his heart's content. He currently has 125 creep score, has gone back, built up the Brutalizer, has the Chain Vest as well, and as with pretty much every Urgot play you'll ever see, I would be absolutely amazed if he doesn't finish off that Frozen Heart to make him even tankier.
Yep, standard item for Urgot, obviously great with the tankiness and does a bit of damage as well on top of that. As I think he is going to recall now as Wicked is coming under pressure at top lane. But he is just going to get these creeps no problem whatsoever. Is currently a level ahead of Tabs. And that is about it right now. But yeah, still a very even game, Vince. I still think one kill, sorry my kind of stream's bugged as if you don't know, I kind of have this 3D thing. Don't know how to get rid of it, but yeah, one kill still, and it's nearly 17 minutes. I don't know what.
Sorry to jump in, but Alistair's going to go down there. I jumped in a tiny bit late as you were talking. Sorry about that, dude. If you don't know, then Enzi's watching the stream. He's currently behind by about 15 or so seconds. But either way, Ari got completely in the luck there due to the fact that Tarek managed to get Alistair in the bush. I'm sure you'll see this in a couple of seconds, Enzi. And the Ignite and the ultimate coming in from Ari was enough to take down the Alistair, and now looks like they're going to just lurk around in that jungle. In fact, Olaf was thinking about going top for a second there, but I think he's opting to just pull back instead. But go ahead, dude, continue what you're saying. Apologies for interrupting.
I was just basically saying, it's just very, very even at the moment. About 1k goal differential in it right about now, so I don't know what can separate these two teams. Like I said, I just think there's going to be a flurry of action, a big burst, a big team fight just to separate these two teams, and then I think that's really going to change the landscape of the game at the moment, and I think it's going to be a good one.
Indeed, so that is going to take, obviously, Team Must to a 2-0 lead now. Tarek did pick up the kill, obviously not necessarily the most ideal recipient of the kill, but here comes Ari. She's going to get into all kinds of trouble, has 4 players congregating around, is going to flash through that wall, all kinds of damage being put there. She will finally go down from Wicked with the Renekton. Renekton now going to try and pick up the kill onto Kennen as well, but Kennen flashing away just to save his life. Alistair now going to try the 1-2 combination onto Olaf, does land it. Here comes Howling Gale, only just misses, but I think Olaf's going to go down regardless from the graves. Indeed he will. So that was a 2-0 team victory in that case, and with Dragon up, you'd have to assume they're going to pick this one up as well. So great turnaround there from CLG just in the last minute or so. Ari was completely caught out of position, was encircled by 4 players around the blue buff, and they did manage to take her down with ease. Tarek could also be following suit here, as Anivia is going to put down all kinds of damage. Tarek is going to try his best to stun her out of this one, but he's going to go down as well from Anivia. 3 for 2. And Tarek just trying his best to hold them off Dragon until the cavalry arrived, and Kennen is on his way, but he's also going to get caught from Anivia getting heavy damage put on him. In fact, he could be going down here. Kennen being forced to use his ultimate, perhaps to survive, but he will be taken out from Anivia. So talk about a turnaround, Enzi. Out of nowhere, so much action. Now Ari's going to try luck onto the Anivia, popping the egg, but here comes Janet to save her teammate. And Ari being forced to pull back there towards the tower as Olaf starts to join in with the team fight. Just all out action all over the map. And CLG definitely coming out on top after that one.
Yeah, absolutely, but still, about 1k or 2k in it still, TL aren't down and out just yet. Harry did get caught out of position, but I think they're just going to brush that one off. They're going to be like, okay, let's just stay together now. Let's try and not get caught out, what you're supposed to do anyway. Get that wall coverage down as well, and, just try and bring this game home. I mean, 1k gold difference is literally nothing, especially 20 minutes in the game, so I don't think they're going to be all that worried. I think they'll just probably be discussing about what went wrong right there, and they're just going to fix that for next time, and hopefully they can come back even stronger.
Yeah, it's just about really poor positioning, getting caught out time and time again. It's basically like they just walked into certain death 2 or 3 times in a row. Quite an odd one to watch, to say the least. But either way, this is why we're hyping up Froggen so much on the Anivia. He is an absolute beast with her, and now he has managed to pull himself back to 2-1-2. He's going to pick up this blue buff as well. Look at those items. Has Chalice of Harmony, Abyssal Scepter, Tear of the Goddess, and Mercury Treads with a couple of Sight Wards as well, so he's going to be doing nice damage. And let's have a look at Ari, as she is facing off against the Anivia in mid. Abyssal Scepter, 3 Doran's Rings, and Sorcerer Shoes. Now, I know you like to play Ari, NZ. Is this build a good one for this kind of scenario? Would you have built it slightly differently?
Absolutely not, it's just kind of a standard build on Ari, get that Abyssal Scepter, Ravenon's next, and then maybe even a Riley straight after that as well to give you a bit more HP. But yeah, just standard stuff, triple Dorans and the Abyssal Scepter coming out on towards Ari. So yeah, I would do exactly the same thing in the situation, and Nivea is dealing a hell of a lot of damage as well, and she wants to keep that burst down as much as possible.
Absolutely. Thought for a second we could have some action at that bot lane. Still are by and large lining up for this bot lane here, as Urgot is just slightly in the jungle. Can't see him just yet, but all 3 players are going to start to pull back. It's going to be Olaf, Urgot and Tarek as well. Not going to bother too much with this bot lane, because Kennen is basically just going to get free farm at that top. But, going to recall, go back and try and build up some more items. He has the large rod, so his ultimate is going to be dealing all kinds of damage. But what's he going to pick up on his return back to the shop? The answer is a chain vest. So more than likely going to be going for that hourglass. Of course, he can rush in, pop his ulti, and be invulnerable for a couple seconds. Very, very useful item for Kennen, and definitely one to watch out for. Ari is also going to go back. How much gold does she have in her back pocket? Well, she has over 1,000. So let's see what she ends up building up. Perhaps a blasting one. Nope, it's going to be an amplifying tome. So perhaps a fairly late Hex Tech Revolver coming in here, NZ?
Yeah, probably. I mean, you got the double AP, so it would definitely make sense as well, just to fit in with the Kennen to give it a bit more AP coming in. So I think, yeah, great item to get on towards Ari. Of course, you can also build that. Forgot to actually mention that, but obviously Kennen has one of the Ancients as well. So, that double water is going to come in very strong. Pretty standard for any AP duo in a game. So, yeah, great stuff.
Absolutely, and it would appear that we could have some action in mid. Here comes Ari, and Nivea's damage onto Tarek is absolutely ridiculous, and Renekton does try his luck there, jumping in, but pulling back instantly. Alistair is getting a few acid hunters for his trouble, but he'll pull back no problems whatsoever. Didn't even have to pop his ultimate there, so it's all going to come to pretty much nothing on the kill front. Cannon is now joining in with the team fight. You had, for a split second there, a 5v5 in mid, but Graves is going to pull down, opting to just pick up some last hit on those creeps. He's currently finding himself on 170 creep score to Urgot's 191. Graves does have the BF sword and Phantom Dancer with Vampiric Scepter. Of course, could definitely build up that Bloodthirster as I'd expect him to do so. On the opposite side, as we predicted, you're going to have Urgot picking up the Frozen Heart, pretty much a core item for him, along with the Brutalizer, 2 Doran's rings, blades, sorry, not rings, and finally the Mercury Tread. So pretty standard stuff from the 2 AD carries right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't do it any other way. I don't know what to really say about this game, Vince. I mean, it's just all and out even right now, apart from that one team fight. But still, the goal differential is 1k, and we saw this, or I saw this, I can't remember which 2 teams it was.
Team fight, NZ. Sorry to interrupt again, but we've got a massive team fight kicking off here. Monsoon used from Janet just to push away and save Alistair, who popped his ultimate as well. Here comes Kennen slicing Maelstrom. Huge damage. Hourglass as well has been popped. In fact, not popped. Doesn't even need it because he hasn't finished it yet. Doesn't really matter either way, as his team's going to completely landslide the opposition. CLG.eu getting absolutely crushed. Apologies there. For some reason I thought Kennen had finished his hourglass off, and if he tries to come back in with the ignite, could potentially finish off Kennen with the last tick. Indeed she'll do so. Goes into egg form, and she will definitely be a dead bird there. Graves doing what he can to stave off the onslaught, but it's not going to be enough to stop her from going down as well. So 6 for 5 after that team fight. That was a 4-for-1 exchange in the end. Big team play coming out from Teamless there, without Kennan's Hourglass even needing to be finished.
Yeah, like I said, the team from TL, their lineup is very, very good. I mean, you got Ari to hit that charm in, the true damage coming from Olaf as well. Urgot can spam away the Acid Hunters. Then, of course, the main initiator of the team, which is Kennen, just going straight in, popping that Hourglass, doing a hell of a load of damage as well, and popping the stun off. So, TL, they are very, very strong right at this point after winning that fight, and I think still, after that team fight, I still really don't know who's going to win this game. I cannot give you an answer, and who's going to win this? It's just too close. I'll give you an answer, Vince, after the next team fight. How about that?
That's a fair shout. I mean, you really couldn't. You would basically just be some kind of mystical creature. Could you call this game down the line right now and get it right? Because it's pretty much as close as you could ask for. 3-2 on towers, 6-5 on kills. Goal difference is only about 1.3k. After 26 minutes, that's really nothing. So incredibly close. Dragon and Baron are both still up, and neither team is completely pulling away with this one. So this is definitely going to go down to an important team fight. I would say probably, Enzi, around the Baron. That's where I'm going to put my money on Baron. Perhaps also the Dragon. I don't see anything coming out. Ari's been caught once again. Oh my god, she's definitely going to go down unless a miracle happened. She has managed to actually pop her ultimate a few times there and will escape. So I'm stood corrected there, Ari. Well played by you. I honestly thought that she was going to go down with 5 CLG.eu players breathing down her neck, but she's managed to escape. Either way, Dragon has been taken, and so CLG will be relatively happy with that and managing to close that gap to just 400 gold separating the two teams now.
That's the beauty of Ari, though. You've got that ultimate at your disposal to just try and get away, escape stuff, and initiate things as well. And for that, they have picked up the Dragon, and they might go for a push or something now. They know Ari's ultimate is down for, a few seconds or so, or more than a few seconds, but you get my drift. So they might try something on here. It's very, very possible, but they might just go get some farmers. I just get poked. Nice.
And I think this is one of the first times we've actually seen CLG going ahead on gold score. Fair enough, it's not much, but it's something. Psychologically, it's a big difference there. They're starting to turn the table now. They're starting to come out slightly on top in that respect, but it's still anybody's game, Enzi, as we said a couple times already. It's going to go down to that static kind of farm fest that we all know and love about League of Legends, and it's basically just going to come down to those big team fights. Who gets caught? Ari, for a couple seconds, as I said before, I honestly believed, Enzi, that she was going to go down there, but beautiful use of her ultimate to escape there. Obviously, the Spirit Rush really coming to her saviour. Let's have a quick look on the creep scores. How is it being spread around the two teams? Well, the top creep score player right now will be Renekton, 253. And he has managed to finish off the Maw of Malmortius already. Incredible item, of course, is the upgrade for the Hex Drinker. Has the pickaxe as well, the Spirit Visage, and the Mercury Treads. Let's have a look at the two AD carries. How are they faring off? Well, Graves hasn't really done too much since the last time I commented on him, because he hasn't actually built up that Bloodthirst yet. He has enough gold for it. He has 1k left, only 900 required to finish off the Bloodthirst from the BF Sword and the Vampiric Scepter. On the opposite team, you're going to have Urgot has taken another Chain Vest, but could potentially be another big fight kicking off here as Alistair jumps in with the Pulverize. All kinds of damage being unleashed once again. Kennen tries ultimate. Beautiful Monsuno from Janet to push him back towards his own team. Now the swap used from the Urgot. I can't believe that nobody has fallen yet in this team fight, and that can actually remain the case here as Urgot will somehow manage to land a couple of Acid Hunters, but it's not going to finish off any players whatsoever, and that's incredible, Enzi, that in that 5v5 fight nobody died. Beautiful Monsoon once again, but now they're going to try to repeat back onto Ari, who's forced to flash through the wall just to save her life, and now going to have the two teams, basically standing off against each other, just exchanging blows. But wowzers, how did no one die there?
Well, I'm still in shock, and I've literally just got to the part where Alpha flashes over the wall there, very lucky. I have no idea. Can I just be confused?
Well, I am. I'll be honest. I mean, obviously, Janna's Monsoon really saved the teammates there big time, because Kennen was definitely opting for the ultimate in the entirety of her team. So she pushed Kennen back towards his own team. He couldn't really do too much from that position, and definitely mad props to Crespo for picking that one up for his team there. But either way, going to continue with the Farm Fest in this mid area as Ari, Kennen and Olaf are all going to start to pull back now. The cavalry is arriving, but they don't want to try and push too far ahead, and they don't have any ward coverage whatsoever in that jungle. Just starting to put a couple of wards down now. This Tarek will put one down just next to the Wraith. Now going to pull down towards the Dragon, but it isn't there, of course. And once again, just both the teams lining up against each other. Urgot is going to get caught out slightly here from Anivia, but pops up the shield, should be just fine. Ari also was applying the pressure there with the Orb of Deception, and a couple of auto attacks just thrown in for good measure. But it's incredibly close, Enzi. You have to say, this is definitely the closest game I think we've had so far in the CVC.
Possibly, yeah. I'm still kind of confused that no one died in a team fight right there, but hey, who knows? I think for a kill to be exchanged in a team fight right now, the focus is going to have to be completely 100%, which, you know, it never always is. And on top of that as well, I think the team fight will go on for a very, very long time because these teams are basically unseparated. I mean, you've got 800 gold in it, if that's the case, and I think just Baron is just going to be the main point right now. That is the only thing that can separate these two teams at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of slippery characters as well, in the sense that obviously Ari's very difficult to pin down unless you can get a stunned and really CC'd out the equation. Janna's utility is ridiculous just for kind of knocking everybody up, pushing them back as well with the Monsoon. And Nivea has the wall, so these team fights are really going to go backwards and forwards, and it's definitely going to be interesting and very difficult to determine which of these two teams is going to come out on top, as you are now going to have Teamless pushing towards that Baron. In fact, opting instead perhaps to try and trap out that CLG here. There is a ward down there. And of course, this is going to give CLG a preemptive warning of what is potentially to come. Having said it, though, Teamless are going to pull back instead. Ari trying the slightly cheeky charm through the wall. Had that landed, it would have been exquisite, but nobody withstood that. They are now once again just going to pick up this creep score. Going to have an Olaf. He's actually finished off the Randuin's Omen. Incredibly good item in those team fight situations. Also has Phage, more than likely going to build towards a Frozen Mallet. And once again, Teamless are going to push up towards this Baron. Ari is baiting the entirety of CLG.eu. She's trying to say, look, we're not on Baron, we're all waiting in this bush for you, please don't come towards us or you're going to die. And in the meantime, her team has already got Baron down to half health. They could definitely pick this one up comfortably here, but you're now going to start to see CLG cottoning onto the fact of what may be occurring. Now they're pushing on. Ganna's going to come in first there. Alistair going to just jump in here and pulverize as many characters as he possibly can. It's all going to be down to this. You have to feel Kennan's going to pop the ultimate. Monsoon instantly used. Hourglass has been burnt now. Huge damage once again, but again, nobody has fallen as of yet. Kennan's going to escape with absolutely no health. So's Renekton, and I think that Urgot should be going down indeed, but he is the only casualty of that team fight, and Baron is still relatively injured at half health, so actually CLG could end up picking this one up, but they have to be careful because Ari on full health there with the blue buff is going to be doing a lot of damage, and as such, they are going to pull back. But again, NZ, second consecutive team fight, and only one death in both put together.
I don't know how we're gonna find a winner of this game. I have no idea. I mean, still under Baron, I think it was just one kill exchange and that was on towards Urgot there. I was looking very closely to kind of tell, okay, so why isn't there a kill going down? I honestly cannot tell right now. It seems everyone's doing their job. It's just so even. That's all.
Yeah, but that is going to be a pretty big body blow there as Ari has once again been caught, but this time not able to escape. And that's basically going to gift wrap CLG the Dragon. And on top of that, Anivia did heavily hurt Tarek as well, so Tarek is going to have to pull back. So yeah, small things like that can start to kind of build up and make a big difference after the span of 10 to 15 minutes. We are 34 minutes through this game, 3.1k goal difference in it. Kennen is going to try and pick up this tower though, but Anivia and Graves are starting to pincer in with this two-pronged attack. Kennen could be going down. You can see Froggen preemptively realizing that Kennen will charge away. Will he land the Ice Blast? Yes, he will. Flash Frost lands an absolute charm. Now Graves going to try and jump on top of this Kennen. That is Froggen with Anivia going absolutely huge. What a beautiful Flash Frost that was. Just throwing it in the path of Kennen there. And wowzers, that is one hell of a play from Froggen. And again, it's those small kind of plays that can make a big difference, Enzi.
Yeah, Teal have to be very careful now. You know, they can't be caught out this much right now. I think Ari did get caught out a couple of times in this game. Also, they really need to stop that, because that's just going to give CLG, you know, more of an advantage now, and a chance to just go ahead. And that's exactly what they don't want to do. You know, they're relatively even at the moment. They want to keep it at this pace and then kind of explode it in a team fight. That's the last thing they want, is getting caught out in situations like that.
Yeah, a couple of items have been built up. You can have a Quicksilver Sash taken from Graves. Definitely a nice item. Of course, you can pop that. Will get you out of any CC that you're currently within. And against the likes of a Kennen, against the likes of an Ari and a Taric, incredibly useful. And of course, the Urgot Ultimate as well. So definitely a good item. Anivia has also picked up the Archangel's Staff as well. So she is going to be doing some serious damage output. Let's have a look at that ability power. 321 right now. And a lot of mana as well. So she can spam all day long. Going to be focusing on this mid tower. Have to be careful though, because Olaf and Kennen are starting to move their way here. Beautiful Anivia wall going to be used there. The swap has also been targeted onto Graves, but he is going to pop the Quicksilver Sash, again showing just how important that item is. And now you're actually going to see CLG having to run back. They're now going to engage. It was a bait. Kennen rushing in. Once again, Monsoon has been used to perfection there from Janna, who also pops off the Shri's Reverie to give her team the added movement speed. Again, no one is really going down here. Absolutely incredible how tanky these two teams are. Urgot maybe falling once again. Indeed, he will be. And now potentially going to be chasing after the Ari and Taric as well. Underneath the tower, though, from Anivia, she has managed to land a couple of abilities onto Ari, but not enough to take it down. Then gets the Flash Frost onto Olaf. Olaf being forced to use Ragnarok just to escape there. So again, beautiful play coming out from Froggen. And they do pick up that tower as well. So tower down and Urgot down. These little things are starting to produce a fairly big difference in CLG's favour, Enzi. I mean, consistently, Teamless are getting caught out here. It's been Ari most of the time, but Taric has been a couple of times as well, and that's going to also cost them the second mid tower as well. So a lot of map control being lost just in that team fight.
Well, sadly, Vince, I kind of missed the second half of that team fight, and my stream is still frozen, so I didn't really get to see all of that. But you know, if Urgot's gone down once again, they just need to reposition Urgot. They just need to defend him a bit better, and hopefully it's going to be good. Like I said, I missed that team fight, so I'm kind of good.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but we'll just have to carry on. Enzi is Wicked has gone down towards that bottom lane, going to try and pick up this wave of creeps. Currently finding himself on 330. He has also got the Last Whisper, Spirit Visage, and the Giant's Belt has been added to his arsenal of items and weapons here. So he's going to be very, very tanky, especially when he pops on the Dominion, his ultimate, and Dominus even. And he's going to be just really a pain in the neck there. Just be rushing around in the middle of the team fights, doing everything he can to provide as much torment and hindrance as possible. And in the meantime, we are going to see Teamless trying to kind of push themselves around the Baron. Will Taric actually put a ward down? Yes, he will, on the way to Baron. And they also have a ward on top of Baron pretty much. So they have good visibility right now. They are going to see if CLG go for this Baron once again. We have seen a couple fights kicking off around that area, but obviously Baron has not gone down as of yet. Let's have a quick look at the gold score. It is going to be 6k advantage now in CLG's favour. That's purely down to the basis of how that last team fight went. They picked up 2 towers and a kill on top of that as well. And as soon as those wards have been put down, NZ, they're going to be destroyed straight away from that Janna with the Oracle. Now pushing on towards Baron. Have to be careful because Urgot is standing here. Nice charm onto Alistair. You're going to have Olaf just bossing it up right in the middle of all 5 players, but that wall is going to completely neglect the rest of his team. They cannot get in just yet. And now Renekton's going to go in very aggressively, gets the stun. Here comes Kennen once again. Monsoon has not been used this time. And look at that damage that's been wreaked down upon the CLG team. That's going to be a kill from Anivia onto Kennen, so it doesn't seem to matter. Renekton back onto Taric as well. I said before just how annoying he'd be in those team fights, and there you go, chasing after the Taric, forcing the kill. And now Urgot will be going down as well. He has managed to somehow survive for that long, but the Guardian's Angel has been burnt, and it's only a matter of time before he follows suit. Olaf is the last remaining player in this vicinity, and he's going to be dropped from Anivia. That's going to be the free Dragon NZ, Baron even, sorry. And as you said before, it could really come down to those Baron fights, in my opinion. I mean, CLG just really gave themselves a great chance to win this game.
Yeah, I think they might actually win this after this, but I don't really get why Ari built that Rylays. I mean, all through this game, has practically, has been very even. She hasn't really been bursted down all that much, she isn't getting focused all that much. She isn't dying all that much either in team fights. And I would have definitely just went straight for the Rabnons. I mean, they definitely need the damage right now. You haven't really got a standout character on TL right now, with a load of kills. I mean, on CLG you have Anivia, for example, on 7 kills. You've got Graze on 3 kills. And, they're dealing serious damage. Ari at the moment, she did get a bit of damage from that Rylays, but Rabadons would be so much more useful in this situation because they need that damage. She wasn't having the problem of getting bursted down too much with, getting to low HP, not being able to do anything, because largely enough, she is the one person to just walk away from fights, as she has that ultimate at her disposal as well. So I think that Riley's maybe a bit of a mistake in my opinion, due to, like I said, they definitely need some damage right now.
Yeah, but it's in these team fights, Enzi, time and time again, Teamless are kind of going, okay, let's kill Alistar. And you've seen them focus Alistar first a couple of times, and obviously Alistar's ultimate makes him very tanky. Why would you be focusing Alistar in those kind of circumstances? And you have to also give another shout out to Froggen there, because his wall was absolutely majestic. Olaf ran in like a boss, but the unfortunate thing for him is he had no support whatsoever, and that wall stopped the rest of his team from actually pushing on into that team fight, and that's pretty much what sealed the deal there for CLG. Now going to be pushing through the mid, going to be completely bossing through this mid area. Of course, both towers in the mid were taken down previously, so they are going to be pushing right down towards this inhib and the tower, of course, as well. Again, Alistair will eat up those abilities all day long. He's not going to care a great deal, and the ward has been popped down as a hindrance as well. So are they going to try a team fight under this tower, or are they just going to basically try and push the side lanes? Looks like they are definitely going to be opting towards this mid, but pretty much not worrying too much as the creep wave has been down. Really, Enzi, in this kind of position, I would like to see CLG push the top and bottom lanes and just really just drive it home here, because basically for every second that they're stood in this mid lane, they're wasting their Baron buff.
Well, they have Barons, so they basically have map control. They need to use that to perfection. I mean, they've got tanky enough characters, you can just tank them turrets and get them down. They definitely need to do that. I mean, push them side lanes, get an inhibitor down either in mid, out of the top lane or the bot lane, whatever floats your boat if you've got the water. And, just push them lanes. That's all you need to do. Get the gold advantage up. Even if you can't get an inhibitor, if you can get them towers, then backdooring's an option later on in the game. You've got more gold as well with that advantage coming in, and all that stuff adds up slowly but surely.
Indeed, it would appear that they are going to follow our advice that we give, and that's going down towards the bot lane. But in this kind of circumstance, Enzi, I'd kind of like them to split up here and to push the bottom and top base. Doesn't seem to matter as what about that for all from Anivia? Olaf is moonwalking in mid-air, he can't do anything. That's just how good the wall was, completely shutting him off. But they didn't go in and jump in for the throat there, they didn't go for the jugular, they opted to stay back and allow the minions to slowly but surely take down this tower. They are going to pick up the tower now, but again, Froggen just showing exactly why Anivia is a great character in the right hands. Those walls, just the walls on their own ends, can really turn a game, and we have seen him land a couple of the most ridiculous flash frosts ever in this matchup. So really showing his pedigree here, but they are going to opt to just push down this bot lane. Part of me wishes they kind of go towards top and maybe try and take that one down as well, but their creep wave is so far back towards their own inhib. Maybe not worth the hassle and worth the wait there. So they are just going to push this bot lane instead. Being joined from Alistair there, so it is going to be a 5v5 under this tower. Big damage going on to Urgot. Instantly healed back up from Taric though. And it's pretty much just a stalemate right now. Renekton taking the brunt of the damage there from the likes of the Ahri, but doesn't really matter. And this is why Janna is such a great kind of character, Enzi. Obviously the Howling Gale great for utility, Monsoon great for utility, as we've seen a couple times in this game, pushing that Kennen back and really negating any of his damage. And that Eye of the Storm as well. Looks like Ahri has been caught out once again. She's going to go down from Renekton. Renekton has popped Dominus right in amongst all the action. Put the cat amongst the pigeons here. Renekton is going to go absolutely wild. Anivia picks up the kill onto Kennen. Looks like Olaf is going to do his best to mount some kind of a comeback, but he too will feel the force of Graves. That's going to be 16-6 now. Surely the GG, and that's going to be the tower and inhib going down as well. Unless they end up trying to get the kills rather than the tower, this could actually prove to be a bit of a mistake. Urgot has gone down, but remember he has Guardian's Angel, and has he done enough to hold off this attack? Well, the answer is a cataclysmic no, as Alistair completely pummels him with all 4 players chiming in with an assist. Taric is the last remaining player, and the surrender has came in. So that will be game number 1 going to CLG.eu, Enzi, but that was anything but one-sided. Very close game.
Yeah, very close game indeed. I'm really going to look forward to the next two games. Just the main game changer right there was just, TL getting caught out at the wrong times. They got caught out on a number of occasions, just gave CLG that advantage because at one point, they were neck and neck. There was basically nothing in it. And, them players getting caught out, mainly Ari, really, really didn't do too good for TL in that end result. And I think CLG kind of won because of that.
Absolutely, but that will be game number one, done and dusted. Remember, this is a best of three, guys, so we will have two more matches coming up for you. I have already received the invitation there, Bass, so do we go to a commercial or do we just keep on plugging along here? Alright, we're going to cut to a very quick commercial break, guys, but there are 9 players in the lobby right now. As soon as the 10th comes in, we'll go live once again, so stay tuned and we'll be back right after these.